That is today the workshop having the sixth day. So in this case, first I give the introduction, then in which way we have organized a national workshop, how to become a better academic leader. So all the participants are the educationists coming from different places of India. Respected Principal of NC Autonomous College, Professor F.A. Malik sir, President of Sakhyam Society, Dr. Rajendra Singh sir, Department of Botany Head Dr. S.P. Mahapatra sir, Secretary of Sakhyam Society Dr. Shilpi Chauhan madam, the resource person, those are already completed their topic, Dr. Switi Srivastava madam, Sagarika Basa madam, Dr. Chitra Rathore, Dr. Josna Jain, Vaishali Anand, Josna Singh, and today is my turn. So I have decided to take this topic because you all are acquainted with the teaching learning process and the effectiveness of the teachership. What is the importance of teacher? What is the teaching methodology effective? Why it is effective? In which way it is effective? That you know. So I decided to give some idea about the professional ethics and teaching strategies with special reference to revised Bloom's taxonomy. Revised Bloom's taxonomy. So I have decided. So in this case, I'll give brief idea about all the part so that the participant can learn or participant can cope up with some refinements. That is, you know, teaching is not a easy task for all the members. It is not easy. Anyone is interested for the teaching and interested to come to the teaching line to be a good teacher. It is not easy task. And the country, not only India, all the country depends on good education by the help of teacher. So teacher, educationist, learner are the link for the development of the country. So thanks to Sakhyam Society, NC Autonomous College, and the participants to giving me a chance to speak few words how to become a better academic leader and professional relates to professional ethics and teaching strategy with special reference to revised Bloom's taxonomy. All of you know taxonomy, that is the systematic classification, systematic approach, systematic presentation, systematic acquire the knowledge and sequentially and systematically transfer knowledge among the society as well as the community. That is the major things. People think about the teacher. Who is a teacher? Teacher is a tireless, dedicated professional. Touches lives forever. Someone who opens the mind and it touches the heart. Someone who makes dreams come true. He or she is known as a teacher. One who inspires, guides, enlightens, and motivates the learner. He is declared as a teacher. So teacher term is very difficult to define in all the aspects. If you can explain in the psychological point of view, in philosophical point of view, it is very difficult word. So generally, you can tell it touches the lives forever. If you are a good teacher, you can touch the lives of the learner. You can touch the lives of the students. Similarly, if you think about the guru, guru is in top position. In Hinduism, preceptor giving the personal religion, instruction, an intellectual or spiritual guide or leader. Or you can say any person who counsel or advises. And guru is an influential teacher, or you can say the popular expert. You are in this position means due to a definite guru. Without guru, you are not successful. You are having so many problems you will face, so you need the importance of guru. So guru, or next you can say the teacher, they all are associated with a term is learning. One term is learning. According to psychologists, learning is the modification of behavior. As a result of experience, the child brings changes in his behavior after gaining experiences from the environment, because you all depends on surrounding. The surrounding may be positive or negative for you. If it is positive, you are gaining, developing. If it is negative, you are ruining or deteriorating in all the activities. So learning is a natural phenomenon which is natural to all organisms, including animal as well as the human being. Learning affects child development, decision of right and wrong, concept of justice, aesthetic value, etc. through learning. So learning continues throughout life, which is already explained by our expert in last 5 days about the concept of learning. Then if you think about the current trends of education, if you analyze through all the angles, through your experience, the focus is lost. Most of the cases, it is teacher-centric. Increasing dropout rates, aimless process, effortless or effort to increase quantity, not the quality. That is another important. So for this reason, 2 days before the discussion was going on student center approach. So that point of view, in 1953, the group of educationists of USA, headed by the committee, Dr. Benjamin Samuel Bloom, the great educational psychologist, framed a committee for the learning objective. How we can teach, how we can proceed, how we can achieve our goal by the teaching learning process. By the teaching learning process, Benjamin Samuel Bloom was the head of that committee. And he has done PhD in education and declared as the great educational psychologist. Great educational psychologist. In 1956, the committee has given the learning objective. That learning objective was mainly based on the cognitive domain, because Benjamin Bloom has given concept on the development of brain. If the brain is developed, then everything is developed. It was the concept of Benjamin Bloom. In the name of Bloom's taxonomy, in 1956, Benjamin Bloom has given the guideline to all over the world in which way you go for the teaching learning process. Then in this case, the concept was initiated and published 1956. That is based on the 3 important domains. One is the cognitive, relates to thinking. Second is affective, relates to emotion. And third one is the psychomotor or the sensory, relates to body development or the approach. Cognitive domain is again divided into 6 subdomains. That is, 1 is knowledge, second is comprehension, third is application, analysis, fifth is synthesis, last one is the evaluation. 1 to 3, knowledge, comprehension, application. that is known as the lower level of thinking, but the analysis, synthesis, and evaluation are the higher level of thinking. That in short, you can remember CASE, CASE. That is 4 to 6 analysis to evaluation is the higher level of thinking. Higher level of thinking that you have to think. That is the higher level of thinking. But here one question arises. The most important thing here it is arises. 1956 only the cognitive domain. 1964 the affective domain by the psychologist Krathwohl. 1970 psychomotor domain came into light by Deaf. In 1972 by Simpson and Harrow psychomotor domain. So in 2001 Anderson and Krathwohl, the students of Benjamin Bloom, revised the Bloom concept from noun to verb form. So he explained the concept in 2001, how it will be helpful to us in current situation. Revision to Bloom taxonomy is being used by some educators, mainly the Anderson et al. And Krathwohl et al. And it was developed by a group of cognitive psychologists. They are also psychologists. And it was headed by Anderson, Lauren Anderson. The revised taxonomy has 3 major changes to the original taxonomy. The order of top categories has been swapped. You see the diagram. You see the diagram top 2, that in previous it is seen that synthesis then evaluation, then it changed to evaluation then creation. That simply they changed. That is top 2 categories. Synthesis is now changes to creating. The name of 6 category has been changed from noun to verb, making the new category action that are visible and measurable. So in this case, if we think about from the base, remembering, student can recall, understanding, student can explain the idea, applying, student can use the information in 2 different ways, analyze, distinguish between the different concept, evaluation, justify the decision, creation, new product. Very simple concept is explained by new taxonomy. And it is the modification of Bloom taxonomy. In very short also you can tell it is the digital Bloom taxonomy. Very short you can say it is the digital Bloom taxonomy. So if you will go for the Bloom's taxonomy in the inverted pyramid shape, before entry to the class, you are having 2 concepts, remembering and understanding. During the classroom situation, you can learn, apply and analyze. After the class, we expect from the students that is evaluation and creating. If it is creating is okay, then teaching learning process is perfect. If it is not okay, that means anywhere the defective process is going on. So teaching learning process is the begins with the stimulus, that is coordinated act involving the sensory and a motor action of the child. You know there are 3 types of nerve. One is the sensory nerve, second is the motor nerve, third is the mixed nerve. So I am telling about the sensory and motor action of the child will develop in teaching learning experiential process. Learner's past experience is most important in a teaching learning process. Without past experience, without the remembering and understanding capacity, you can't focus on the application and analyze concept in the classroom situation. So after that you can hope the evaluation and creation. That is the case you can expect from the students in a teaching learning process. So in this case, if you think about, however, how often we have said in some cases, the child, oh, what a beautiful drawing, you are so creative, you are telling somewhere. I know, creativity without a sense of evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering is not creativity. So before achieve the creativity, you have to gone through about all the concepts, starting from remembering to evaluating. That was the concept, that is the modification of Bloom's taxonomy by Anderson et al., the student of Benjamin Samuel Bloom. Again, it has happened in some cases also. That is, all the application of revised Bloom taxonomy is not applicable in all the cases. It is already happened. So another concept has come to the mind of this educationist, that is experiential teaching and learning process. Experiential teaching and learning process, where teaching learning process indicates the major key. One is exposure, participation, identification, internalization, dissemination. That means that is always, it is not required you will go to the class and introduce the chapter. It is not required, because you know the students are some capacity, they can go directly to application level. So this is the another concept has come to the mind. It requires more discussion and it requires pinpointed analysis of the experiential teaching and learning, where you remember, you see the middle is the teaching learning process, and all the sides you see. T is the catalyst, S is explorer, but here you take T is for teacher, S for the student, and similarly T is the motivator, teacher is the motivator, and student is the attender. Similarly, T is the chair, and student is the influencer. Similarly, T is the sustainer, but the student is extender, and the teacher is the moderator, and the student is experimenter. So teacher student relationship is must in teaching learning process. So experiential teaching learning process, it is requirement of both teacher and students. So it is not essential always you will go to the class and introduce the chapter. It is not essential as per the concept is given by the experiential teaching and learning process. Here, though you are teacher and you all are the educationists attending the National Webinar organized by the Sakhyam Society and Nursing Chaudhary Autonomous College, you have some ethics. That ethics indicates some professional ethics. So that is the most important one. That is the code of conduct that govern how members of profession deal with each other, with the third parties. If you don't have proper ethics, you can't be declared as a good human being. Why we have professional ethics? Why? It's like a guide which facilitates the teacher to provide quality education and inculcate good value among the learners. Otherwise, you don't have any professional ethics. So ethics is highly essential when you will be declared as a good teacher or effective teacher. Teacher must have strong character traits, strong characters, perseverance, honesty, patience, responsibility, unity. As a teacher, you must treat every student with kindness, equality, and respect without showing favoritism, prejudice, and partiality among the students. And if you carry out the partiality to the students, then your professional ethics is deteriorated there. That means you don't have any ethics being a good teacher. So professional ethics is the most important for all. That is the main. People think about the motto of a teacher. The wonder of teaching is watching caterpillars become butterflies. Caterpillars, you know the structure and the nature of the caterpillar, and you may not like caterpillar, but you like butterflies due to very colorful structure. So teaching is watching caterpillars becomes butterflies. An ideal teacher is an effective leader who can inspire and leads his students to excel in their schoolwork. An ideal teacher is an asset for a nation. He builds the future of the nation. He builds the future of the nation. He is an ideal teacher. So I hope this workshop will help some extent to be a good ideal teacher in your curriculum based education. Similarly, people think about the effectiveness of the teacher. I think it is already explained in the first session by Dr. Sweetie Srivastava madam about the effectiveness of the teacher, top qualities of the teacher, what are the important term applicable for an effective teacher. So I think no need to describe for the effectiveness of teacher and the qualities. Another thing is code for professional ethics for the teacher. That is the most important thing. NCT, National Council of Teacher Education, statutory body of Government of India, in collaboration with NCERT, All India Primary Teacher Federation, All India Secondary Teacher Federation, All India Federation of Educational Association, they have developed a draft of professional ethics for teachers in 1997, who can be used, or it can be used as a model for all the teachers. All the teachers are bound to accept this type of professional ethics in teaching learning process, not only in the classroom situation, in school environment, as well as in the community or the society, because you are a teacher. So teachers' obligation towards profession and colleagues is must have refrain from making unnecessary allegation against colleagues. Unnecessary allegation against colleagues, you have to stop. Avoid making disrespectful statement about colleagues, especially in the presence of students. That is the most important one, because you want to quarrel with each other. It is not a quality of an effective teacher, but in front of students, you try to stop these things. In absence of students, in absence of other teachers, you may argue or you can solve the problem. But in presence of all, if you will discuss, it go beyond the professional ethics of a teacher. Respect the professional standings and opinion of his colleagues. Maintain confidentiality among the colleagues as well as the student as well as the head of the institute. That is the confidential level. Otherwise, you can be a good teacher. You don't have any professional ethics. That everything strives for continuous professional development. You are teacher and you have to read every day something for the betterment of the society. So you have to learn and you transfer your knowledge to the students. That is for the betterment. Take pride the teaching profession and treat other members of the profession with respect and dignity, because you are a teacher, nation builder, and you should be proud of it. Refrain the accepting any gift or favor that might impair or appear the influence professional decisions or actions. Try to avoid, because I know this is some cases, somewhere, sometimes it happens, but you try to avoid. So it is against the professional ethics. Obligation towards parents, community, and society. If you think a good teacher establish relationship of trust with the parent, the parent will tell, when the parent will tell he is a good teacher, having professional ethics, having some ethics, good learner as well as teacher can communicate the concept to the students effectively, then it brings the development of the society as well as the improvement of your country. A teacher demonstrates respect for the child and its social background. Don't be biased in all the cases. So you have to give the respect of the students, the social background. A teacher develops respect for the composite culture of India among students. That you have to accept. And a teacher also, most important thing is refrains from taking part of antisocial activities or activities spreading hatred among the community. That you have to keep in mind. A teacher treat all students with love and affection. Teacher teach according to the individual need of the students. A teacher makes the child realize his or her potential and talent. That is the most important thing. You have to find out the talent of the students. You have to find out from remember to the creativity. That is the importance of the teacher. You have to find out the creativity of the students. That will be declared as the good teacher. Teacher facilitates the students' physical, social, intellectual, moral, aesthetic development. That is requirement. Otherwise, your professional ethics is not as per the code of conduct given by NCT. What are the major ethical issues? Now the question is, what are the major ethical issues? The professional ethics indicates a good teacher. If you are a good teacher, try to avoid force students to go for the private teaching or the private coaching. Gets appointment on the basis of fake degree. It is happened in some cases. You want to damage the school property, harass the students, remain absent without informing to the head of the institute, without informing to the management, without informing to the college, you will remain frequent absent. So it will bring your professional ethics is in dump condition. And to the students, gives corporal punishment, abuse to the students, disclose confidential school matters in outside, taking drugs or alcohol in school or outside, it will hamper your ethics. So, my dear participants, be serious about these things. This webinar, this workshop, 7 days workshop by Sakam Society and other groups has given some refinement among you. Be some professional, ethical person. So you are doing a better, noble job for the society. So you be serious about these things. Otherwise, nobody will respect you are a teacher. Code of conduct is instructed with the objective of improving the quality of teaching. That is the most important thing. Quality of teaching requires if your teaching quality is acceptable by the students. Whatever you are presenting to the students, students are not understood. Monotonous teaching, teacher-centric teaching, you are not moving here and there. Students' approach is nil. In that case, your quality of teaching is not at all effective. Simply that class is passive learning process. Try to make it an active learning process. Preventing violation of code of conduct. That is another important one. Serving as a template for discussion helps in improving the ethics of the teaching profession. That is required. For this reason, if you can do, then you can say teaching is effective. The student in the classroom will raise the hand that in 40 minutes, teacher, student relation will build up in strong bond. So I hope you will go through about these things. What is the purpose of code of conduct and ethics? Why I am telling these things? To enable the teacher to deal consistently and fairly with all the students in classroom. Because total number of students in classroom is 40. That you have to deal near about 40 students in 40 minutes. That is the importance of the code of conduct and ethics of a teacher. To represent a status symbol that protects on the profession, to function as a cornerstone of quality teaching by creating conducive learning environment. That is the important. Without the proper environment, you can't start your perfect teaching in the classroom situation. That is the case. Then, if you think about the purpose of code of conduct and ethics, if you can purpose, one thing I am telling to you, that is to encourage the observance of standard to protect and promote the interest of students and the institution. That is the duty of a teacher. You are taking money and you are taking your everything from that institute. So your return to that institute, how to encourage the observance of standards to protect and promote the interest of students as well as the interest of the institution. Similarly, to foster a culture of high standard of honesty, integrity and ethical and a law-abiding behavior among the teachers. That is required. So this is the code of conduct and ethics among the teachers. Similarly, if you will think the teacher-centric teaching or the teacher-centered approach, monotonous teaching, now the pattern is gradually changing as per the revised Bloom taxonomy approach. Expert knowledge, that means traditional teachers, simply they are coming, giving corporal punishment, by lecture method, is teaching so and such. But now it is changing in the 21st century. According to the guideline of NCTE, due to the collaboration of the different associations, the pattern is changing. That is, 21st century teachers are facilitator. 21st century teachers are the collaborator and a good coach in all the aspects. So this is the way we are hope for the betterment of the professional ethics of the students as well as the teacher as well as the entire institute. If the ethics of teacher is good, then the institute will grow. You can't imagine, and your influential role to the community or society you can't imagine, and you will be a pathfinder for that area, and you will be declared as a good teacher. Similarly, if you think about the classroom teaching, the biggest challenge before a teacher is the presentation of a lesson. If this presentation is effective, then a student can reach the goals of life by acquisition of knowledge. If the teacher is unsuccessful, teacher presentation is not perfect. it is impossible to reach the educational objective. Educational objective, learning objective, the domain, subdomain is totally baseless. No taxonomy, revised Bloom taxonomy would not be acceptable anywhere. Similarly, method of teaching is directly related to the presentation of the lesson, which a teacher should use depends on the nature of the subject and the tactfulness of the teacher. That is the most important thing. Similarly, again, if you think the strategy, if you think what is the teaching strategy? Strategy is the art and the science of directing and controlling the movement and activities of the army. If the strategy is good, we can get victory over our enemies. If the teaching in term relates to teaching, in teaching this term is meant those procedure and method by which objectives of teaching are realized in the class. In the classroom situation, if you can't use the objective perfectly in front of the students, so your teaching strategy is defective. Your teaching strategy is defective. That is the most important thing. According to the Stone and Morris, the great educationist has defined the teaching strategy is generalized plan for a lesson which includes structure, instructional objectives, and outline of planned tactics necessary to implement the strategy. That is the definition by teaching strategy given by Morris and Stone. Then question is, what is teaching approach? It is a set of principle and belief or idea about the nature of learning which is translated in the classroom situation. Then what is teaching technique? These are the such steps we follow when we teach. It is the teacher style that differ from person to person. Here I can emphasize individual difference about the teaching technique and the trick to accomplish an immediate objective. That is the teaching technique. So again question arises, again, if you go for the learning pyramid, if you go for the learning pyramid, if you will go for the simple by lecture method, teacher centric, go and teach and read. So in this case, approach you see that 10%. When you go for the discussion in classroom session with the involvement of the students, that 50% approach of learning is effective. If you can practice 2 to 3 times, evaluation, analysis, evaluation, then 75% approach. If the student is able to teach their friends, then the 90% approach is effective. That means learning pyramid is successful and your teaching objective is acceptable in a classroom situation. So try to give the information, teaching learning process in classroom situation from lecture to teach others. So when teach others, that is 90%. That means as per the psychologist, Russian psychologist, he has explained if same day student will not read, that is 50% of concept will lose. Second day will learn your concept, that is 10% will accept. Then third day or fourth day, if you teach, if you can learn your concept, what you have given in the classroom, the student will start from zero. So be serious about these things. Though you are a good teacher and you know the concept of learning pyramid, you inform to the students, dear students, go and read today. Go and read today. Tomorrow you can teach to your friends. Then your concept is effective in front of the students. Otherwise, it is not utterly effective. Similarly, if you can summarize or you can tell the tactics of teaching, tactics, it is that procedure by which new knowledge fixed in the minds of the students permanently. For this purpose, a teacher does extra activity in the class. How your teaching style will be acceptable by the student, that you have to adapt in classroom situation. In such a form, student will think that he is not our teacher, she is not our teacher, he is an actor. When he is teaching something, we are taking all the concept to our mind by developing our cognitive domain. So that approach you have to maintain in the classroom situation. Now you will see, in order, people think about that is types of teaching strategy. There are main two teaching strategies. One is autocratic, second is democratic. Autocratic teaching strategy is a teacher-centered method. Simply, so we are not depends on students. Students, whatever they are doing, we are forgetting. teacher exercise full control over the students. They are giving least chance to act freely. They can do what they are allowed to do. So just like the banking concept is the autocratic method of teaching strategy. So it is completely rejected by the NCT. So better to go for democratic approach of teaching. So similarly, if you think about that is teaching method and teaching strategy. Teaching method is the limited to the presentation of subject matter. But teaching strategy, when you try to achieve some objective by any method, it becomes strategy. Teaching method is the micro approach, but teaching strategy is the macro approach. Macro approach. But in a teaching method, we will go for the work is important. But in teaching strategy, that behavior of student and teachers and their mutual relationship is important. Otherwise, it is not effective. Similarly, if you go for the teaching method, you can again classify into two major categories, and the direct approach, second is the indirect approach. Direct approach indicates it is teacher oriented, but the indirect approach is learner centered, learner centric. Another thing is highly structured content orientation is by direct approach, but in his indirect approach is flexible, organized experience. Here question arises, if you are going for the indirect approach or the learner centered of teaching, then your experience counts. Experience counts. For this reason, the teacher is taking the guide from the senior teacher. Junior teacher is taking the guide from the senior teacher. And for this reason, it is the link from junior to senior or from head of the institute. For this reason, different posts are there. You have to learn. You have to learn in which way you want to capture the learner-centric approach. That is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. Another thing is, in indirect approach is main at generating knowledge from experience. At the time of need, you can apply your knowledge in front of the students so that the student can go from remember to creation as per the Bloom's revised taxonomy by the Anderson. So this is the case. Another thing is, people think about the number of teaching methods. People think about the number of teaching methods. I think the method is already discussed. So many methods, that is which one is the acceptable, which one is not acceptable, which one is the primitive one, the lecture method is the worst one, and that is project method is a accepted one, that is heuristic method also accepted one, that requires the resource, etc., etc. So many things is required. I think it is already discussed. If you think about to discuss these things again in this platform today also, we can discuss in the question and answer session. My question is, again, most important thing is we are concentrating on Bloom's taxonomy. We are concentrating. That is Bloom's taxonomy. So we are concentrating on revised Bloom's taxonomy. From remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. From noun to verb form. From simplest behavior to complex behavior, that is creation. The new concept will come to the market by the help of the students. So in this case, I have given a link. If required, you can go through this link YouTube, that in which a animated structure is given. The Bloom's taxonomy for the students as well as for the teacher. The Bloom's revised taxonomy in which way it is given. I have given a link. So that link you can put in the YouTube, and you can find out how you can get the revised Bloom's taxonomy animated structure. So again, I thanks to all the participants. You are hopefully listening something my concept about the professional ethics and the teaching strategies. So according to our ex-president APJ Abdul Kalam, that is, we always work for a better tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, instead of enjoying, we again think for a better tomorrow. Automatically it will be, let's have a better today. Automatically let's have a better today. So I hope you clear the concept about the APJ Abdul Kalam, what is the importance of today and what is the importance of tomorrow and future. At last, here I can tell you one structure you see, that is a father and son and is the tree. The tree is the teacher. Tree is the teacher. and giving the all the types of support, taking all the factors from the environment, both to father as well as the son. I hope, though you are a good profession, noble profession, acceptable profession, highly respected profession, so be a good tree, just like you can show the path to others, because your cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, affective domain is all well versed and improved. I hope you enjoy this session and try to discuss in this way. At last, I can conclude in this way that our aim is we will give the roots, we give them wings. Mainly for the students. You think for the students, not for the bird. And great joys from little things. I hope that they will soar. I hope that they will try. We are sure that one day our children will learn to fly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful presentation on Bloom taxonomy. Really, it was a very fruitful presentation, sir. Now, I would like to invite all the participants to ask your question regarding Bloom taxonomy. I mean, revised Bloom taxonomy.
Well, I have a question. May I ask to Dr. Mahapatra?
Yes.
Okay. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate Saxum Society Rajasthan for such a nice workshop on how to become academic leader, and also to Dr. Mahapatra, Biswajit Mahapatra, for a nice illustration on the revised Bloom taxonomy. Well, my question is, where is the gap? If we look back to the ancient era, the Gurukul system of education, where the every aspect of Guru's life is affecting the student. So, what is the gap between the Gurukul of ancient era and today's digital revised Bloom taxonomy, or so-called digital revolution in education system? Is there a mutation in the professional ethism by some of the factors, environmental factors, or lack of professional ethism in teacher itself?
Okay. So it is now it is anyone can ask. It is the general question whether we'll accept our Gurukul system or we'll go for the digitalized new version of Bloom's taxonomy as per the need of the society. So you know the process of evolution. Evolution is a continuous process. Last year, today, and tomorrow. 1000 years before, then in course of time the evolution will come. When the human being is coming to the little bit developed learning stage, then human being always wants to be little bit changed. So that is the evolutionary process. Whatever the case, suppose last moment you see, according to the NCTE guideline, that when the Gurukul system, etc., they were getting the punishment. Now, if you give the punishment, the psychologists all over the world explain that if the punishment you will given, it will disturb the cognitive domain of the students. If the cognitive part is disturbed, then the affective and psychomotor will be disturbed. So another part is now again question arises, if the Gurukul system they are not giving this type of domain, they were giving, then how many of them were getting this type of opportunity in Gurukul system? Mainly due to the lack of resource. So all the members are not getting the education or the free education or Gurukul's type of system of education in always. But nowadays, the education is improved and developed all over the world as per the need of the society. You see that in this, take one example, this is a pandemic situation, COVID-19. Now we all are in the different places of the India, but still we are learning. So can you think it is possible in the Gurukul system? So can we go for any guru to carry out this process in this pandemic situation? No. So this is the case. So we have to change our situation. We have to adapt as per the need of the society. That system was that time, but this system. But whatever may be, we'll never forget our guru, because guru is the source. From that, the knowledge will come or transfer from all the places. So it may be now you can select a good guru as per your need. You can select them. They will place in one area and they will transmit us, disseminate their knowledge to all over the world. And he or she should be a perfect guru to accept the different types of teaching methodology. So this is the case. So my point is, as per the change of society, as per the evolutionary process, the situation is changing. We have to accept the need of the present scenario. This is the case.
Ramapat.
I request to all participants, you can text your question on chat box also.
One thing I can explain. Suppose one example I am telling the problem solving method. The problem solving method, it is a good method. So the being a good teacher, mainly it will be go for the, that is the science instructor, the science teacher. That problem solving, a child is given a problem and find a solution independently. You have to encourage. The learner becomes the proactive or independent controller of the situation. If the problem is simple, initially you give the simple problem and then you give some little bit complex problem to solve it. And it is the problem solving method, and if the student is able to solve the problem as per their acquisition knowledge, etc., then student is ready for evaluation and creation. Similarly, here another thing I am telling to you, that is, suppose I am telling, that is one more example I am giving, that is the project method. Suppose another thing, project method, though it is not possible in case of the India due to the lack of resource. It is the Kilpatrick contribution from Kilpatrick. His device his concept was child centered and based in progression of education. That is, student complete the project by working in a group to acquire the practical knowledge. That should be encouraged. That should be encouraged among the students. Though you are the science teacher, you try to encourage the project method. And project, that doesn't mean they will go and simply copy from this one or download this one, No. So that is the approach. It is a good approach. Out of 40 students, one group, 5 or 7 students, they can make project method effectively, or any project. You have to appreciate it. You have to appreciate it. But in heuristic method, that you will give this project individually. Suppose in a group the students are successful, then you find out, go for the heuristic method. In heuristic method, you give one project, one student. Then if it is okay, so you are a good science teacher. So here one another part I am telling to you, interested to speak something to our participants. Teaching strategy is a broad term that identify the different available learning methods to enable them to develop the right strategy to deal with the target group identified. Yesterday I was listening, that is yesterday or 2 days before in our workshop, so the question answer session was going on. So that I have seen, that is the question was asking in different group of the students, means some are having below average, someone is asking about the above average, gifted. In which way you want to control the students? That was the question. And someone is asking the backbencher. So that case, I am telling to you one addition to all the participants. Don't tell that is the backbencher always, because anyone can sit in the backbench. They are not the slow learner. They are not slow learner. You have to make the rotation in such a form they will be the front bencher. So if you think they are backbencher, then after 1 week or 15 days they will come to the front. Make rotation. And the concentration always you think they are securing 60% or 65%, then you always think they will go for the 70%. If they are going for the 70 or 71%, then you think next exam they will go for the 73%. So that doesn't mean at a time 10 to 20 or 15% will increase. So you simply emphasize on 1 or 2%. That is the approach for the securing mark. But the teacher should think the concept, whether the student are able to clarify that question or not. If they are clarify, concept is clear, so not to be worried about the percentage, because nowadays that is the mark oriented, because the parents are thinking my son or daughter is secured 99 point something, 99.8%, 93% something, etc. But mark oriented, it is, I think my point is, the Bloom is telling, that is revised taxonomy is also telling not to be this type of target. Target is to be creation, to new concept, evaluation, then creation. That is the Bloom's taxonomy. And not the 93%. You are securing 93% throughout career, but unable to, or you will not be declared as a good engineer or the doctor in future. The person having the career is 60% or 65%, declared as a very good doctor or engineer in the society. So that is the methodology, revised taxonomy, to tell being a creative, not to a, that is the about the marks. Similarly, some days it was discussion was going on, that is the public school, government school, other school, etc., different regional school, etc. Whatever may be the school, teacher role is different. Teacher role is different means teacher in Hindi medium, teacher in English medium, teacher in any other language are all are teacher. But when they will communicate, they are different. For the profession, ethics is same for all are the teachers, because we are teachers. Our strategy should be one, mainly the method used to help the students learn the desired course contents and be able to develop achievable goals in the future. That should be our motto. So that our motto should not be belongs to that school, this school, and these things. I am a teacher. I want to teach something to our students. In such a form, they will learn something, clear their concept, disseminate this knowledge in our society. That should be our motto. And if you are going to class simply to attend the class and come back, better not to go and attend the class. It will disturb the different domains of the students. It will affect the psychomotor domain of the students. It will affect the affective domain of the students. So that is the major motto. So you have to be practical, just like the John Dewey told, pragmatic principle, learning by doing. You should be practical. So in such a form, the student can achieve and student can reflect, the society will be benefited. That is should be the motto. That should be the motto. Otherwise, don't go for the teaching profession. So other professions are there, you go and do their work. Don't go, because ethics is important, professional ethics is important, because you are the nation builder. That is the motto. Because my point is today is always be concentrate on your professional ethics. Being a teacher, teacher to teach, to be a good, effective teacher. To teach means how to teach by applying different strategy. Then which method as per the need of the student in classroom situation. That is the most important thing. Otherwise, it is not possible. That is the important one.
Okay, sir. So one participant, the name is Ranjita Uniyal, want to know what is the difference between teaching methods and teaching strategies.
I already explained that is teaching method and the teaching strategy already I explained. So teaching method is limited to the presentation of subject matter. That is teaching method. But teaching strategy, when you try to achieve some objective by any method, it becomes teaching strategy. So you can tell teaching strategy is a broad term. Method is narrow. May come under strategy. Strategy is actual combination of different methods. I already explained that is, I have already remember that is teaching method is a micro approach. Strategy is the macro approach. Already explained these things. So I hope this is the case because you know the different teaching method, all the teaching methods coming under teaching strategy. But when you are going to the class, that you are taking the help of one or two method. One or two method or the combining of the two method. But teaching strategy is a total principle in which way you want to carry out the teaching learning process. So this is the case.
Sir, one another question asking by Barna Singh Gupta. What kind of projects for language class for grade 9 and 10 can be more effective? How to discourage direct copy paste from the internet?
Right. So I am giving one example. Go for the language or anything you tell. So you give, you as per your mind, you select this is the project. You select already your mind 10 project you have selected. You give a brief story about these things. Suppose you are a language teacher, you have already set your mind. So I have already selected 10 projects, and out of 10 projects, I want to give 5 projects or 3 projects. When you are going to describe about the project in front of the students, so you concentrate about 3 projects you want that this project student will do. Then you take the motivation. Then the student will tell, so this project will do, and inform them who are interested for this type of project. No need to describe about any guidelines. Simply you tell, go through just like the Rousseau principle. Go to the nature and learn from the nature. Let us go and touch the fire, learn from the fire. Then what is the importance of fire in that particular case? So that is naturalism policy. So in this particular initiation, you should be just observer and you simply explain this is the project and these are the group selected as per their wish. You tell them, I am not forcing you. You tell in which project. Suppose you explain 10, select in your mind 3, divided 10 is 3 project, and you tell them you write or collect as per your information. Then in last, you allow to student to give the conclusion. You simply a passive observer, and accordingly you see different concept, different conclusion will come from group 1 to another group, and it will differ from different groups. Then you will analyze and then you will confirm the students. It is the association. It is the very simple project I have given. So in course of time, I will give little bit complex project. So it is okay. Then go for the other one. So don't give more complex project from the very beginning. That I am telling. This is the approach, not for the language. I am telling for the language, science, all history, all the subjects I am telling. Similarly, if you are going, suppose you will tell this is 10 start and this is 10, you write and this is the conclusion. No, you write one sentence. Go through this sentence. This is your project, and through this sentence, analyze the tense. What are the tense, etc. You know in your career, future tense, etc., etc. Past, present, and you write. You write. I will correction done by me. You write. I will do the correction. So let them go for the 5 to 10 times. What is the problem? The student will learn through that process. Let the student take the help of the internet. And internet language, your language, student language, you can easily verify. Don't entertain, go for the internet language or the book knowledge or book language. You tell them whatever the concept you are thinking, you write in your own language. And that will, in course of time, you see, in 2 to 3 years, student will go for the evaluation and the creation. Just you apply for these things, you see the difference.
Thank you so much, sir. One more question asking by Ranjita. How can we motivate our children to learn new things? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Uh, Now, next question. How can I
Yeah.
motivate our children?
Yes, sir. How can we motivate
Ah,
our children to learn new things?
new things, right? So, when the Sagarika madam was telling something about the micro teaching, so micro teaching approach always is not acceptable in all this time because to complete the course, etc. For some, those are having the average, it is better for them. That day, I have written a comment. Motivation is the best medicine in teaching learning process. This motivation can applicable for the average, above average, and the gifted students as per their IQ level. So motivation may be intrinsic as well as the extrinsic. So intrinsic, you motivate the student in such a form, the student will internally motivate to do the work. Metabolically, he or she is active to do the work. That is the internal motivation. That is intrinsic motivation. Then if he or she is intrinsically motivated, then he will go for the extrinsic work. Outside work due to extrinsic motivation. For example, I am telling. One example I am telling to you. When the result will be declared of a student in standard 10 or the standard 12, that time you will see the happiness of student is more. That is expression. The student happiness is more. They can sing, they can phone to any other friends, etc. So you can easily find out their activity, that is happiness. Similarly, the happiness of the parent also you can compare. And similarly, the happiness of teacher you can compare as per the psychologist. As per the psychologist, great psychologist Piaget. Piaget has observed all the things of theory of learning. And if you will put a graph, the graph of teacher is much bigger one, and the very least one will be the student, and middle one is the parent. But the action you will see, the happiness action will reflect is more in case of the student. The teacher will not dance or teacher will not tell anywhere, but teacher happiness is maximum. That is the reflection of motivation of teacher, that due to my effort, the student has achieved 99.9%. So that is the happiness and this is the calculation. So my question is, not only the teacher, all the parents should motivate their children in such a form they are ready to do the work. They will be ready or motivated to do the work immediately. Otherwise, they will take some clue. I am not interested to do. Once they are not interested to do means you are not a good motivator. According to Maslow theory, the Maslow very short he told, you will be a good motivator, then you can be a good collector. Means everything you can collect from the student or from anywhere. And if you are a good motivator, if you are unable to motivate, then you are an unsuccessful one. Same thing you can apply to the students. Suppose today 40 students, 35 students deposited their homework copy. 5 students has not deposited. Simply you tell the next day, I hope, I have 100% believe that another 5 students tomorrow they will submit. I have faith on you. And these 40 students they have submitted. It is okay, it is very good. I know I am confident. But another confidence there, they will submit tomorrow. But in this case, if you will give the punishment, negative comment, etc., etc., they will not go for the homework. So simple to all the participants that motivate, go through the motivation technique and try to motivate. And if you can motivate successfully, you will be mentally sound, student will be mentally sound, and the mental health of student and teacher including their parent will be sound. Otherwise, the bridge between teacher, student and parent will disturb. And if the bridge will disturb, then flood will come. If the flood will come, then other activities will come. The environment will be disturbed. So entire situation will disturb. So I request to all the participants, you to be a good motivator. Good motivator. First you try to motivate intrinsically, then extrinsically. Not money matters. Money matter doesn't always that is motivation not required. Money relates to money. Simply you ask yourself, being a teacher, how many times you are telling to your colleagues, sir, today you have given a good statement in front of all the staff members. Just to motivate to your colleague. That colleague you see, in which way that colleague will motivate towards the staff common room in which you see. So this is we are human being. We can express our concept in front of others. So we can motivate very easily. So we can motivate to others means we can motivate to our friends. We can motivate to our students. Easily we can motivate. Then student can learn anything. You see, when the child is that is age 3 or age 4, that the memory is developed up to 11, up to age 11. So that period the child or the student can learn any language due to motivation. Then if it is possible in case of the junior children, junior child, student, then it is not possible in case of the higher case. So I hope you apply motivation from today first to your relatives, then to your students. Then it will be helpful and it will bring a sound environment in your surrounding.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, if anyone want to share your opinion or still have any queries, so you can ask direct to the sir. So we will wait after we will wait for a few minutes and then we will close the session. So thank you so much, sir, for a very excellent and very fruitful presentation. You described Bloom taxonomy very well. So I thanks to all the participants and all the uh, participants who are active to ask the question here. So time to close session now. Tomorrow we will again meet you on the same time, and I again request to all the participants ask more question. Tomorrow we have one presentation and panel discussion also, and the schedule I will drop on the WhatsApp group. So thank you so much, sir, and thanks once again to all the participants. Thank you so much, sir.